This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Picture this. Me, Reese Witherspoon, in London, ordering fish and chips so often they might start wrapping me in paper. I'm traveling with my Wells Fargo Autograph Journey card, so I earn rewards wherever I book travel. 5 times points with hotels, 4 times with airlines, 3 times on restaurants and other travel, and 1 point on other purchases. Imagine getting rewarded for eating a toad in the hole. Wait, what is a toad in a hole?
Visit wellsfargo.com/autograph journey. Terms apply.
Hey, what's happening? This is your host Tinto, and before we get into today's exciting episode, I'd like to give a quick message for the deep feelers. Right now, there's about 75% of you who've confirmed your email for Notes to Feelers, which is absolutely amazing. But about 25% of you have signed up, but haven't clicked the confirmation email just as yet. If that's you, please go and check your inbox and more importantly your spam and hit that link. It takes about 5 seconds and it makes sure that you actually receive the notes. And if you're someone who listens to this podcast regularly but hasn't joined the Deep Feelers yet, do yourself a favor and sign up for Note to Feelers. It's where I share deeper reflections, ideas, and things that don't always make it onto the episodes. So if this show resonates with you, don't just listen. Go deeper with it and become a deep feeler. Your confirmation email is really important, so if you do get to sign up, make sure you check that and receive your first Note to Feelers. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get straight into this week's episode. And again, I'm sorry I need to give you a disclaimer on this one. It has a similar theme to last week, which involves sexual assault and physical violence, which, if you do know are likely to trigger you, I strongly discourage you from listening to this episode and perhaps catch the more helpful stuff that's going to come from a supportive advisor in 2 weeks' time.
Is that a breakup? I think we have a situation right here. On the Feeling Station.
Hello?
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How do you pick up the phone and you're just quiet? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. I'm kind of nervous.
You're kind of nervous?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you about 5-10 minutes and guaranteed you're going to be settled so you can chill, relax, and be yourself, yeah?
No.
Absolutely brilliant. The usual response to that is yes. She caught me off guard, but I like that. That's hella funny. Welcome to the Feeling Station.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. For those listening to the podcast for the first time, it's a romantic family and friendship breakup podcast showcasing stories that people would like to talk about with a view to give you lessons from their experiences. Now, I hope you find today's story entertaining, but more importantly, meaningful. And the podcast, as you already know, is very popular for 2 main reasons. The first being I do my best to keep you anonymous, my friend, by giving you a name from the African continent. And this time I've gone over to North Africa. I'm in Chad. And the name that I have for you is Syra, which is Sira. And what that means is somebody with strength and courage.
Very nice. I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, very nice, right?
Yeah.
And what name are you giving the person you're talking about today?
I'm going to call him Master.
Master?
Yeah, only because there's nothing to it. He used to call himself that when he was with me.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Oof, nice. Okay, cool. So it's about Syra and Master. And the second reason why the podcast is doing really well is they're real-life lessons that people walk away with from the story that you're going to share. So what would you like anybody listening to your episode today to walk away with?
I have 4 lessons today.
Mm-hmm.
The first one being control often wears the costume of care.
Yo. Deep, yeah. Number 2.
Mm-hmm. The second one is your intuition speaks before your mind catches up.
Jeez, I really like this, eh? Really like that
And
one. Mm-hmm.
the third one is trauma lives in secrecy and isolation. Healing happens in witnessed truth.
Did you study poetry or English and all of those things? Yeah, because
Well,
nice. And do you have a fourth one?
yeah, the fourth and the last one is stability begins when you stop abandoning yourself, even if others are uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sarah, I'll just play those back. Number one, control often wears the costume of care. Number two, your intuition speaks before your mind catches up. Number three, trauma lives in secrecy and isolation. Healing happens in witnessed truth. Yo, that's deep. Then number four, stability begins when you stop abandoning yourself, even if others are uncomfortable. Cool. Sarah, why did you decide to give Master a chance to be with you? Let's go into your story.
So I think I will start with chapter 0.
Ooh.
So before I actually talk about the relationship, I feel like I need to say this. I didn't enter this relationship as a blank slate. Growing up, I watched a model of love where women endured a lot in silence, where stability mattered more than happiness, where living wasn't talked about at all, only surviving was. So when I later found myself staying in this relationship that hurt me, it didn't feel abnormal. It felt known.
What modeled that view? What did you see to make you think that this is what love looks like?
My parents. Yeah.
Okay.
And so this doesn't excuse what happened.
Yeah.
But I feel like it explains why it took me some time to name it.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with how we met. I met Master when I was in second year in college. I met him through a friend. So that friend gave him my number, and he also gave me his number and told me, this guy is going to call you, and yeah, hopefully you're going to kick it off. So this is what I didn't know at that time. My friend had an older brother, and that older brother was friends with Master.
Okay, yeah.
So what they would do, because my friend is my age, and Master and my friend's brother are kind of older, what they would do is they would buy my friend alcohol. In turn, my friend would hook them up with younger girls.
How much older were they at this time? How many years older?
9 years older.
9 years older?
Yeah.
And you in your second year of college?
Yeah.
Yo. And your friend was the same. And your friend was the same age as well.
Yes. Yeah, but he was a guy. Because he had an older brother, the same age as Master. He hung a lot with the older guys.
I assumed that your friend was a girl. Your friend was a guy.
No, he was a guy.
Yeah, what's his name? Let's give him a name.
We're gonna call him K.
K, yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So how this was facilitated, K and his family owned a restaurant outside of our school campus. And there are many restaurants, but theirs was kind of the most expensive one around there. So only students that had money would go and eat from there. I'm not saying I had money, but I frequented the place a couple times.
Now, in frequenting this place, was this to buy your own food or someone was buying you food?
To buy my own food. My friends and I would go there occasionally. Yeah.
So let's just talk about money for a second, because when you're in college, you don't really have a lot of money.
Yeah,
So,
no.
so where were you getting your money from to go to the expensive restaurant?
My cousin, my parents, my cousin, my older cousin would send me money, and also sometimes from my parents. Okay, that's also a reason why. Okay, we'll see much later. But my parents were really consistent with sending me upkeep money,
Mm-hmm.
but my cousin was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So Kay gave Master my number and also sent me Master's number and had given me a heads up that, he's gonna call you and maybe you're gonna have something going on. So I was like, okay. So later that week, Master called me and he introduced himself and was like, I'd love for us to meet up. And I was like, okay. So we planned and we met up that later that week. We met in town at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So we did meet. He took me to a restaurant. At that time, it was a fancy restaurant. I was a student, so it was a fancy restaurant for me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked me what I would love to take, and I made my order. But they didn't take his order. He didn't ask for anything. So my food came and we were talking and he asked me my age. I was 18 at that time, turning 19. And I told him that. And then I asked him like how old he was. And he told me 26. And I was like, okay, fine. So after the date, that was that. We went our separate ways. But we kept communicating, not consistently. And one time he called me and told me, I want to make you dinner. Why don't you come by my place? So the restaurant that we went to was close, like a 5 minutes walk to his place where he stayed. So he had just like shown me like I live here, but he was like, I'm going to pick you at a certain point when you get in town so that you can come to my place and I want to make you nice food for our second date. I was like, okay. So that happened.
So before you go ahead with that one, I just have one or two questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming you're single at the time.
Yes, I was single.
Were you actively looking to be with someone because Kay decided to hook you up? Did you want to be with someone or you were choosing to be single because you wanted to be single?
I wasn't single. There were guys that were hitting on me, but there were students also. So it was just, with them, it was more of a friendly vibe. But I feel like immediately I met Master, I was interested. I wanted to see where this was going because I feel like I had a thing for older guys.
You feel like you had a thing for older guys?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to that in a second. The reason why I'm asking this question is I know my friends, if they know that I want someone, they would actively look for someone and, give me some leads. But if I wasn't actively looking, again, they'll just leave me alone. They wouldn't bother. Kay actively sought someone for you and said, hey, I think you might get on. So I'll assume he knew that you wanted to be with someone? Yes or no?
No, because as I'm understanding it now, he was taking his chances.
Okay.
Because he was being bought for drinks. So he was like, okay, I'll give you a number.
Okay, cool. So Kay really did this for himself, right? Because he was going to get money.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, my second question now becomes, why did Kay feel it was okay to give your number without telling you first? What is it about you that made him feel it's okay to give your number instead of Alice or Yinka or somebody else? Why yours?
I generally feel like it was just my day. I feel like he had done this a lot from my understanding, he had actually done this a lot. Later on, Master came to tell me that this is what they would normally do. So I think it was just my turn.
Okay, right. Pure chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I
Yeah.
get that. When you saw Master, what did you think?
He was tall. So in my head, I was like, oh, he's definitely attractive because I liked tall guys back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I instantly thought he was attractive because he was tall.
Mm-hmm. What about his looks?
He was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I got to town, I called him, and then he came, picked me up, and we went to his place. So he had made some chicken wings and rice, which were actually not nice. We had that, and then we started talking. We are at his place now. We started talking. So we talked for a bit, like we talked for a while until it was dark outside. And then I told him I wanted to leave to go back to my place. And then he was like, it's kind of late. Why don't you just sleep over? And I was like, okay, fine. I feel like I also need to say this because Master was older than me. I felt the need to automatically respect him and not go against his word. I was kind of afraid of him.
What does respect mean in this situation?
Anything he said went.
That doesn't sound like respect. That sounds like fear.
Yeah.
So because he was older than him, you automatically felt scared of him.
Yeah.
Okay. So earlier on, you said you liked older guys.
Yeah.
Which, based on what you're saying, because he is older, you automatically fear him. So you're drawn to men that you fear. Is that a fair assumption to make here?
Not really. I feel like with how I was raised and what I experienced growing up, as much as I feared him, there was also a sense of security because he was older than me. I liked that I got a certain sense of security when I was with him or when I would talk to him. So that's why I said respect because, because I felt a sense of security.
What about the other older guys you'd been with before? Because by now, it sounds like you knew you liked older guys. What is it that you liked about the other older guys?
There were no other older guys. Actually, this guy, Master, was my first actual boyfriend, aside from the high school flings. He was my first actual boyfriend.
So why did you say you liked older guys? Where did you get the feeling from that you like older guys? If this was your
From
first
him.
older guy. Oh, from him.
From him, because remember I had told you other guys from my school were hitting on me, but it wasn't all that. It wasn't exciting for me. So I had kind of friend zoned them.
Right.
But for him, I felt the need to automatically want to be in a relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, so we talked until it was late in the evening, and he told me, you can't go right now. Why don't you just sleep over? So I was like, okay, fine. So in my head, I was like, okay, let's get into bed and sleep, because I had jeans on, I had a hoodie. I didn't think much to it. I was like, okay, we're sleeping. Okay, so we just get into bed and cover ourselves and sleep. So when I was getting into bed, he was like, no, don't sleep with your jeans. I can give you a pair of shorts you can change into. At first, I was hesitant, but I was like, okay. Yeah, it makes sense. It's more comfortable. So I removed my jeans and put on a pair of shorts that he had given me. And I got to the corner side of the bed and I covered myself. So in the middle of the night, not actually in the middle of the night, just as he had turned the lights off, he and got into bed, he started touching me. And all I'm gonna say, it wasn't consent. I didn't consent to it. I didn't consent to whatever happened, but it happened. It was my first time ever having sex, and I didn't consent to it. Yeah. So that happened, and the following morning, I went back to my place. We didn't talk for a while after that, and then we met again because where I was studying is still a small town, so it's easy for you to bump into people. So we met again in town, and he had a car, so he stopped his car by the road, and I had seen him. So because I was walking towards where he had stopped his car, he rolled down his window and asked me to get in, and I did, because it's not like I didn't know him at this point. I knew him, and then we talked for a bit, and yeah, that was that. So he told me, as we were talking, he asked me what tribe I was. And when I told him, he said that he has always wanted to get married to someone from my tribe. And I said, okay. So as I was about to leave, he told me, let me buy you pizza so that you can have it for lunch as you go back to your place. I was like, okay. So he did that, and then that was that. I went to my place, he went where he was going. So later on, maybe I think during that week, we started talking again. So we continued talking, and I don't remember much, but now we are in a relationship. He never asked me to be his girlfriend. We'd talk. He would ask me to go to his place. I would go. And then he would walk me back to my place. It was a back and forth kind of thing, but we were hanging out a lot. And I don't know at what point I was now the girlfriend and he was my boyfriend. So after being together for, I think, 2 months or 3 months, I started spending a lot of time at his place. And that is when I came across his wallet and his ID. And when I checked, I realized that he had lied to me about his age. He wasn't 26. He was 28.
Yeah.
Turning 29. So I didn't bring it up. I just, I didn't bring it up then and there. Like, I waited for a bit, and then I asked him, and then he just laughed it off.
How did knowing that he was 28 versus 26 leave you feeling?
I was shocked because I genuinely didn't think he would be that older than me. But at that point, I was like, well, okay. Now I'm his girlfriend already. Now what can we do? It's just age, And so, yeah, that was that. So that was back in 2018, 2019. So I'll fast forward to 2020 during COVID. We had closed school because of COVID, and I went home. I went home, and then while I was home, we weren't talking much, but we would video call sometimes. And towards the end of 2020, he told me that he was lonely and he wanted to see me. So because vehicles like public transport was not allowed, he told me he was going to pick me in a town closer to where I lived. So he came with Kay's brother to pick me up. And I would say now that is where I became a wife.
You became a wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because now when he came, remember before COVID, I was in school and I was living with a roommate
Yeah.
who was also a student. So I had my place. But during COVID, we had to move our things and, vacate the premises because we didn't know for how long we'd be staying at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have my own place.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came and picked me up from home, we were going to stay at his place now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that is when I became a wife.
Mm-hmm.
So he came, picked me up, went to his place, and now that would in turn to my place now. And then I think during that COVID period, I became pregnant while I was staying with him.
And this
Yeah.
was how long into your relationship?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost 2 years into the relationship. So I became pregnant, and it was a no-brainer that I was going to have an abortion because I was still in school. But before that, when I told him, he got really angry.
Mm.
Yeah, he got really angry, and he told me he was not ready for such a responsibility, and that we should know what to do about it.
We should know what to do about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to a clinic. It's a well-known clinic here in Kenya. So I went to the clinic, I had a consultation, and then I went back home, no, to his place because we were living together. Yeah.
Mm.
I went back home. I told him about it. I told him how much it was gonna cost, and he was like, "No problem. Yeah, go get it done tomorrow." I was like, "Okay, fine." So I went. I did it. Oh, and before that, that night when I was telling him, he told me, "Okay, so because you're going to have the abortion tomorrow, I might as well just, we might as well have just unprotected sex today because you're still going to do it tomorrow." Yeah,
Sure.
so that happened. And I went in the next day and got it dealt with. So, yeah, so that was that. So in 2021, I was doing my very, very last exams in 2021, January. So immediately after, something happened. Something happened. So we were hanging out in 2020. I didn't have my own place. And then I'd say end of 2020, December 2020, something happened. I had found out that he was cheating while I was home. So when I came back, I forgot to mention, when I came back to his house, the bed was broken.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the bed was broken. So when I asked him, he laughed and told me, "But we are the ones who broke it." Now, him and I was like, "No, we didn't. I didn't leave this bed looking like this." But he was like, "No. We are the ones who broke it. Don't start issues." Basically, that is what he said. But deep down, I knew he was cheating. So I let that slide. So,
But why did you let it slide though?
Because he said so.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
letting it slide means that you were told one thing that you didn't believe and chose peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you didn't believe him. So I'm just asking, why did you choose to let it go? Were you afraid of him because he's older,
I,
and you said you respect him and you feared him?
yeah, majorly. And also because he told me to let it go. So I was like, okay.
Although you didn't
But
want
now
to
I
let it go
told
because you
him,
wanted answers, right?
yeah, I didn't want to let it go, but he categorically told me to actually let it go. And I was like, okay, fine. So I let it go.
Okay.
Yeah. So the entire of 2020, while I was home before he came and got me, that was what was happening. So, yeah. So in 2021, no, so in 2020 December, after I found that out, the relationship started becoming different. I didn't love him as much. I didn't. I started not loving him as much
Why?
because now I knew he was cheating on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say the dynamics just changed.
Mm.
So one time in December,
Did you hang on before you move on with that one? How did you find out he was cheating on you? I mean, I know you found the bed broken and you were told a story, but you're insistent he was cheating. Did you come across something else to confirm that he was cheating on you?
yes,
Yes.
yes, under the bed there was a red suitcase, and
Uh-huh.
in that suitcase I found ladies' skin tights and an underwear.
And you asked him about those?
Yeah, and he brushed it off. He didn't talk about it. He didn't talk about it. So I also let it go within the same breath. I was like, okay, fine.
Okay, so this is something else you've decided to let go. So it's two things. One, the bed is broken. Two, there's a red suitcase. Again, you're letting it go because...
Because he said so.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. So during COVID, people were drinking a lot in parking areas. Yeah, people were drinking a lot and having fun a lot. So this time he had gone out with his friends and then he came back. So when he came back, he found me sleeping. And then he tried touching me and I said no. And I really do not remember. No, he asked me why. He asked me why. And I said, because I don't want to. Till date, I don't know how me saying I don't want to turned into him saying that I had abused his mom.
What?
Yeah. So when we were talking, or he was talking, and he just turned to me and asked me, "Have you called my mom a dog?" And I was like, "What? No." Even before I could explain myself, he started hitting me. Yeah. So he hit me. He hit me severally. And then I came off the bed and went to the edge of the bed and and crouched down. And that's when he left me and he went to bed and slept. So I stayed there the entire night. And in the morning, he got up really early. We didn't talk and he left. So there and then I packed my things. I called my friend and I told her, I'll be coming to stay at your place for a while. Something happened between me and Master. I'll tell you when I get there. So I packed my stuff and left. Yeah. So remember in 2021, January was when I was doing my very, very last exams before now I finished school. So I did that. So I went to my friend. I said that my friend was actually my previous roommate that I had stayed with before COVID. So now we are back to being roommates again. So I went to her place. I stayed there the entire exam period. So Master had this personal assistant that would do his errands for him. So before I left, as I was packing, before I left, we we're gonna call him, the personal assistant, we we're gonna call him T. So T called me and asked me, like, where are you? I have a food delivery for you. And I told him I'm not around, but you can just take it to the house because I was already leaving. I had a cab waiting for me outside. So I was already leaving. So I knew by the time he got to the house, I would have already left. So I packed my stuff, took the cab and went to my friend's place. And that's where I stayed. So when T got to the house, he called me again. He was like, I'm here, where are you? I told him I'm not around. You can just put the food in the house.
Yeah.
And then he called Master and told him that I was not around. And so Master called me, but I didn't pick up.
Why didn't you
He
pick
called
up?
me several. I didn't pick up
Why?
because I knew he was going to ask me where I was.
Where were you?
I was at my friend's place, my previous roommate.
Okay. A guy? A girl?
Yeah, a girl.
A girl. Yeah, so why weren't you picking up?
Because I didn't want to talk to him after what had happened the previous night.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I stayed at my friend's place the entire exam period until, the entire exam period, I was at my friend's place. Even after the exams, I was still at my friend's place. So during this time, Master would call me, he would text me, he was apologizing, but I was not talking to him. Like I'd say the first 1 week, I was not talking to him at all. And then the second week, I started to crack. I started replying to his messages. I told him it was fine, but I have chosen my peace and I have left. He told me he was sorry. He kept on saying he was sorry. So because this was during the exam period, I wasn't talking to him as much. So immediately after after my exams were done, he called me and told me he wanted us to meet so that we can, talk things out. So I was like, okay, fine. So we met, and he told me we were going for a road trip. So he planned the date, and then he came, picked me up, and then we went. So we actually didn't talk. We didn't talk much about it because he had already apologized before. There was nothing much we were talking about on that day. We were just talking about everything, but not the state of the relationship. So while we were there, now on our way coming back now to our town, we stopped by his brother's place. His brother doesn't live there, but he has a house. He has a house along the way. So we stopped by because he was also he was the one caring for the place when his brother was away.
Yeah.
So we stopped by there, we stayed for a bit. And as we were talking, it's a big house. So he was showing me around. And then we had sex. And we did have sex. It was unprotected. So as we were now getting into town, we stopped by a chemist and he got me Plan Bs. And then he dropped me at my place, and then he went to his place. I took the Plan Bs, but in my head, I knew we were not getting back together.
Right, I got Two questions. First one, this is the second time you've mentioned that it was unprotected, which makes me assume that you generally had it protected anyway. Is that correct?
No. Majority of the time, it was protected.
It was, yeah. That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Majority of the time, it was protected.
Okay, cool. That's number one. And then number two, you've just mentioned that you had sex with him, although you knew that you were leaving.
Yeah.
Did you want to have it?
No.
Okay. Do you know why you did have it?
I felt indebted because we are from this road trip that he had taken me. So when he actually just didn't ask, he just grabbed me and yeah. Yeah. So I went back to my friend's place. So during that time, I was actually planning now because now I was done with school at that point. My friend was also done with school. So I was planning to get my own place. So I started buying stuff of my own. I looked for a house and I moved out of my friend's place. So now I'm living at a different place. But remember, this is a small town. Between his place, my friend's place, and now my place, it's a walking distance.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were accessible.
Yeah, very, very accessible. So remember, I told you, I knew we weren't getting back together. So I had moved on, not with another person, but I wasn't hung up on him.
Had you told him that you're not together anymore?
Yeah, I had told him.
What did he say?
He said, okay.
He doesn't sound like the kind of guy to say, okay. Are you sure he said okay?
He said, okay, but he would call me all the time. He said, okay, but he would still call me. He would still text me like it was normal, like we are not exes.
And you would pick up, right?
Yeah, sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. Yeah.
I feel like you're saying that sometimes I wouldn't part to, to affirm that, yeah, I was sticking to my guns. But the fact, I'm just telling you from a guy's perspective, if you do pick up one of 5 calls, we register that you're picking up and you're still interested. Or you pick up one of 20 calls. It doesn't matter how many you don't pick up. The fact that you picked up is what we care about. And that's what gives us the indication that, yeah, okay, you said you don't want me, but then if you still have time for me, I'll take that. It means you still want me. And maybe you need a bit of patience. That's how a guy's brain operates. So if you didn't want him, why were you still picking up his calls?
Because he was so persistent.
But you can be persistent with your no, too.
Yeah, now I know that. But back then, I really didn't. I really didn't know that back then.
So you picked up because you didn't want to continue feeling like he was bothering you because he was persistent. Is that the reason why you picked up?
Yeah, now I wanted to hear what he wanted to say because he kept calling.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we would talk on call, but we weren't meeting up. But we would talk, but we weren't seeing each other like physically. So there was this time I had gone to another town for a party with my friends. And then we came back. We drank too much. So when we came back, I started feeling ill. My back was hurting a lot. I was sleeping a lot. And I was just not feeling great. And I thought it was like hangover. Like it's probably because I had taken alcohol that I had never taken before while we were there. So I was like, it's probably that alcohol. Yeah. And I had also missed my period. But I also thought it was because of the alcohol.
Mm.
Yeah, so I decided to go to hospital. So I decided to go to hospital, and I remember that experience was so. It's still so funny.
Mm.
So I went to hospital. I explained to the doctor what I was feeling, and then he told me. He wrote on a sheet of paper. He wrote. I remember he wrote amenorrhea or something like that, and then he told me go around to where they take scans and then come back with a report. All this time I wasn't thinking I was pregnant or anything. I was just like, oh wow, this must really be serious. I had never been to hospital like that.
Mm.
So I went in, and I remember, so in that was a public hospital. So when you get into like that section where they do scans and all, there's like a receptionist. And when I got in, the receptionist asked me in my language, even a young girl like you, what can you be possibly doing here?
Mm-mm.
So I kept quiet, and now I waited in line.
Mm.
I don't know about your country, but in my country, public hospitals,
Yeah. Yeah.
the nurses are not nice. No one
No.
is nice there.
Yeah. And they're very vocal.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not discreet.
Mm-mm. So when I got in, now when it was my turn, the nurse just told me, "Get up, get on the bed."
Mm.
And I got on the bed, and they were rude. They were very rude. And then she told me, why are your clothes still on? Can you lift up
Mm.
your shirt,
Mm.
open up unbutton your trouser and zip down? Why are you slow? So at that point, I was so confused, and I did as they asked me, and then they put that liquid on my tummy,
Mm-hmm.
and that scanning equipment, I don't know what to call it. And immediately they did that, I had the heartbeat. It was so strong and so loud.
Mm-mm.
So I was trembling at that point. So I was confused, shaken. I remained lying on the bed. And then the nurse hurriedly told me, "Get up. Like, why are you still lying? I'm done with you. Can you get up and go?"
Mm.
So they told me to go and wait outside for the printed version of the scan. You know
Mm.
it?
Mm.
Yeah. So I took that back to the doctor, and they confirmed the pregnancy.
You're
I was 13 weeks pregnant.
you're how many weeks?
13.
Okay.
13 weeks pregnant.
So just over 3 months.
Yeah.
You had you not noticed your period
So
hadn't come like that?
fast.
Or or you still
It
having
was
your periods?
no, it was the P2.
I don't know what a P2 is.
I said it was an effect of the plan B.
Mm.
And then I was drinking a lot. I was going out a lot because I was done with school. I had nothing that I was doing really aside from drinking with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept telling myself, definitely the plan B and the drinking, the alcohol that I was taking.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never used to drink like that before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in my head, that was explained. So I
Mm-hmm.
got back to my place. I called him. I called Master,
Mm.
and I told him. No, I didn't tell him over the phone. I told him, "You need to come to my place. There's something I want to tell you."
Mm.
And he was like, "Okay." Remember, it's a small town. You cannot, if I explain to you where my house is, you cannot miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I directed him, and he came. So when he came to my place, I gave him the scan report.
Mm.
And he asked me, "What is this?" And yeah, I told him I'm pregnant. And he's like, "No, but we are not together. So this is definitely not mine.
Wow.
And I told him, okay. And I left it at that. When he told me it's not his, I said, okay, fine. And I didn't argue with him. I told him, okay, fine. So yeah, I just thought to tell you. So you can go now. So before he left, he told me, let me take a picture because I'm gonna ask someone. There's someone that it was like almost like a threat. Now he was threatening me. Like, you better not be lying. Let me take a picture because I'm gonna ask someone. I'm gonna ask someone in like the medicine field, and you better not be lying. I just sat on my bed. I was just like, okay. So I told him, you can go now. So he left. So after that, when he left, because remember, we are still not in a relationship, yeah? So I kind of knew in my head that I'll be doing this alone, because at that point, I wasn't gonna have an abortion. I was done with school, and I didn't have a job, but I was like, I'm going to do this alone, and I was fine with it. So a few weeks later, I got a job, and it was in a different small town within the same county, but another small town. So I moved, and I was happy to move because now I didn't want to be closer to where he was. So I moved, but before I moved, I met with him in town. Like, we didn't meet intentionally. Like, I had my errands, he had his errands, and then he saw me. I also saw him, but assumed him. And then he called me. He called my name out loud, like severally. I was hearing him, but I didn't look back. I continued walking. So he called me severally, and then I didn't look back. I continued walking. I went to my place, and then afterwards, I got that job, and I needed to move. I needed to move from my place to now that different town. But because I was just starting out, I didn't have the means. So he's a businessman in that town, and I knew he would help me. So I called him and I told him, I need to move. Can you organize for me how I'm going to move my things from this town to that town? And he was like, okay. He wasn't present, but he sent people to come move me and my stuff to the other town. So that happened. Remember, all this time we haven't talked about the pregnancy. So I was just moving on with my life like he didn't exist. So I started the job. Everything was great. I started saving up for the baby. And then while I was there, so now I feel like I have skipped a major part.
What part is that?
We are going to introduce someone, and we are going to call her B.
B, okay.
So B and Master were very good friends. I would say very good because, B and Master were very good friends from my understanding in the beginning. And later, because Master and I, every time we would break up, B and Master would be together.
Would be
B
together
and
how?
Master would be hanging out together.
So they didn't
from
hang.
my understanding.
So they didn't hang out when you guys were with each other?
No.
Why?
I actually don't know why, but
Did you ever ask?
now,
Did you ever ask why he stopped hanging out with her when he was with you?
no, I never asked.
Okay.
Because he wouldn't tell me or show me that they were hanging out. But I would find B conveniently where Master stays or around his friends when we are not together. B was not my friend. Also, B and Master were the same age. And remember, we have this age gap.
Mm.
So B was not my friend. I could not approach her like that back then, that is.
Because
We are not friends. She's not my friend.
yeah, okay.
So before I left, before I left that town, I had Master and I. He continued talking to me, but we are not talking about the baby. So there's this time I was going to.
So sorry. So what were you talking about?
He continued calling me, asking me where I was, what I was doing, and I would tell him, and I would be like, okay, fine. Yeah, nothing about the baby. Basically, he just wanted to keep tabs on me, like, where are you? What are you doing? You know.
I'm confused a little bit because you decided you didn't want to be with him, right? And you sounded quite resolute, obviously, because of what had happened, and you had every right to do that, to move away. You went and stayed with your friend. You were unavailable. You were hanging out with your friends. You guys weren't together. You were doing just fine.
Yeah.
But now here you are giving him an audience.
Yeah, because
I'm not getting how you had decided to move on, but then you still decide to, kind of give him an audience.
as much as I had decided to move on, this guy was still calling me.
Yeah, but
I was not.
I'm
How
not.
would I say this? By virtue of me being single, I think he thought that we are still in a relationship.
You see, this is
I
why
think
I
that is
asked.
what I was
This is why I asked if you told him that you were not in a relationship, and you said yes.
Sorry, had I told him that?
I remember asking earlier on if you had told him that you didn't want this anymore, and you said, yeah, you told him you didn't want this anymore, so he knew that it was over.
Yeah, he knew. I told him, and he knew, but he wasn't leaving me alone.
I don't think you're allowing him to leave you alone because you're still picking up the phone.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, that was the fault on my part. I was enabling him because every time he would call, sometimes I would pick up, sometimes I wouldn't. So we were still in communication of some sort.
Yeah. So when you picked up, is it because you missed him? Because breaking up is not easy, eh?
Yeah, but I really didn't miss him. I just thought he's calling me too much. I might as well just pick up.
Or block so that you don't have to have him calling you. And if he calls the unknown number, you just avoid the unknown number.
Now I wasn't strong like that.
This is what I'm trying to understand because you are giving that vibe that you weren't strong enough to do that.
Yeah.
So do you really feel you were ready to let go when you let go? Or it's one of those scenarios where you let go slowly until eventually you get to a part where you're strong enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like because, okay, now here's how I'd explain it from my perspective. When we were in the relationship, a lot of what he said went. I really didn't have a voice of my own. So when I told him I didn't want this relationship, and also when I was in the relationship, I didn't talk much. I didn't have a voice of my own where I would raise my opinions or say I didn't like this or I liked that. He was the controller. I would say that. So when I told him I didn't want this relationship anymore, he didn't take it seriously because at the end of the day, he knew what he wanted would happen. regardless of whether I want to be in this relationship or not.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
So remember, I'm living in my own place. He's living in his own place. So this time we are talking. We are not enemies. It's just on a friendly vibe. When he's calling me, we would chat up a little bit. So this time I was going to get my hair done, closer to where he lived, and I told him, "I'm around your place. Maybe I can pass by and say hi." And then he was like, "No, no, no, don't come to my place. Where are you? Let me come pick you up." And I told him, "No, don't come pick me up because I'm so close to your place. Let me just go to your place." And he insisted and was like, "Don't, I'm not around, so don't go to my place. Let me just pick you up." And then I hung up. I felt he was hiding something
Absolutely.
when he kept insisting that, "Don't go to my place, I'm not around, let me just come pick you up." So I didn't tell you that when I left the relationship, I still had the key to his house.
Mm.
I didn't give it back. So because I knew I had the key to his place, I went regardless. And now I stopped picking his calls when he was telling me to just wait and he was coming to pick me up. So I just went regardless. So when I got to his place, when I slid my hand up the door, it was unlocked.
Mm.
So I opened it,
And there was B.
and there was B watching Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was actually very speechless. I didn't know what to tell her. I just got in and told her, "Oh, hi." And she said, "Hi." She called me by my name. So she was like, "Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you." And I was like, okay. So I sat down. Remember, I'm pregnant this time. So when I saw her, um, I was shook. So I just sat down and she asked me, "Can I give you some water?" And I said, "Yeah." And she brought me water. No, it hadn't even lasted like 5 minutes of me sitting down. Tea came in. Tea is the personal assistant
Yeah,
in
I
quotes.
remember. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, T came in and he came in. I was like, "Oh, hi, Sarah. I'm just here to get Master's jacket. And also, can I talk to you outside?" I was like, "Okay, I'm not even staying long.
Mm.
So I'll just be on my way." So, yeah, I left. But T did not come to get Master's jacket. Master thought that because I went to his place and B was there,
Yeah.
we would fight.
Mm.
So T was sent to like get us apart or something. So now that was that.
Mm.
So I went back to my place, and then a few weeks later I told, I didn't have any animosity because remember, in my head we weren't together.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it's fine. If he has moved on, it's fine. So I contacted him. I told him that I needed to move to a different town if he could help me, and he said he would. So he sent people, and I was able to move to a different town. So I started working in that town. I was setting myself up, and then a few weeks after I had moved to that town, B called me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, B called me and asked me like, can I see you? Like if she could see me. I was like, okay, no problem. So I told her where I was and she came. And when she came, we went to a restaurant to talk because she told me we needed to talk. So we went and she started telling me how she's pregnant and Master has told her that she should not keep the baby.
Yo.
And I remember telling her, "No, you don't do what Master is telling you. you just do what you want to do. Because remember, these people were older than me. So she was also financially stable, kinda, yeah. She had a job, a good job. So I was like, so do you feel like you want to do it? And why would you want to abort it because master is telling you? And she was like, no, he's telling me that having a baby is a project. That is the word he used. And he's not ready to take on that project. And I was like, I didn't tell her all this time. She didn't know I was pregnant myself. I just told her, it's fine. You'll do what you want to do, because there's nothing that I'm going to sit down with you here and tell you that you're going to do if you've already set your mind somewhere else. And she was like, okay, yeah, fine. I just felt like, because you and him had dated before, maybe, you'd guide me. And I told him no. And I told her no. You just do what you guys have chosen to do. And that was that.
Did she say how far in she was?
No, she didn't tell me. So I was actually heartbroken when I found that out. But remember, in my head, I was like, we're not together. You're raising this baby alone, so it's fine. So that happened, and I went about my day. So a few weeks later, while I was at my workplace, I see Master passing just in front of my workplace. Remember, this town is a small town. I moved to another different town, but it's still small. So I saw him pass, and I called him, and he came in. He was like, "Oh, so you work here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I work here. What are you doing here? Like, what are you doing in this part of town? You never come to this part of town. At least when we were together, you never used to come to this side." I was like, "No, I'm just coming to see my friend." And I was like, "Oh, okay, fine." So yeah, that was that. We stopped talking. So I'd say a month later, Master reached out and told me, you know what? If the baby is mine, maybe we can, try and work something out. If the baby is mine. And I told him, okay. And now from that point, we started talking. So he asked about how the clinics are going, how far, what do I need? And yeah. So fast forward to, I'd say, a month later, he called me and said, I want to move to a bigger house so that we can accommodate the baby nicely, because I was living in a smaller house. He was also living in a smaller house. So he was like, why don't we come together? Or rather he's going to look for a bigger house, and then we're going to live there. So I'll have to move from my place and go back to that town that I was in. Yeah, so that we can live together. And I was like, okay, makes sense, because we had been talking and it sounded like we are at a good place.
Yeah?
Yeah. So we arranged for me to move from where I was staying, which was a 5 minutes walk to my workplace, to now me going back to where I was, that town, which was a commute, like a 40 minutes drive to my workplace.
So help me understand your journey a little bit here. Things didn't start off nicely with this guy from day one, right?
Yeah,
it was a very bad start. There's continued sexual assault. There's been physical assault. There's verbal abuse. There's the woman with the red suitcase. There's B in the picture. There's the disengagement from the baby, saying it's not mine. B is obviously pregnant as well. What led you to saying, okay, let's try this? And I want to pay attention to chapter 0. You did mention that you saw dysfunction in the home, and that was the norm.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to recognize.
Yeah.
So is that part of the reason why, in the face of everything wrong with Master, you still felt it was a safe bet?
Yes.
Okay.
It was normal.
And how much did the fear of being a single mother play in this decision to move with him now?
I'd say 30%. I wasn't really scared of being a single mom, but I didn't see Master's behavior as a red flag. I had experienced it before growing up, so I thought it was normal.
Yeah. Okay. It's
This is how men acted.
It's starting to make sense now.
Yeah. So when he said that we could start living together, I was like, oh, okay, he's come to his senses. So yeah, let's do this. But I wasn't really scared of being a single mom. Yeah. So we moved in, and in 2021, I gave birth. So I need to say, remember, I moved from the town where I was closer to work, and I moved back to that town where he was living, which was a commute. So that started affecting me during the pregnancy.
How long was the commute, by the way?
I'd say 40 minutes to an hour. So I started becoming so tired. And every time I would get home, I remember one time I asked him if he could help me prepare supper. And he shouted at me and told me that he has never asked me to pay any bills. So what would make me think that me asking him to prepare some food is normal? Yeah, and he said, so because I'm helping you prepare this food, are you going to help me with some of the bills?
Excuse me, sir. What? Okay.
Yeah. So then, when I was, I think around 8 months pregnant, he asked me, you are close to delivery. Why don't you quit your job? And whatever they are paying you, they are not paying me a lot of money. They're actually paying me very little money. So he said, whatever they are paying you, I'm going to pay you. So you just stay in the house. And I was like, okay, fine. And I did that, but he never paid me. Yeah. So fast forward to me giving birth. So I need to say, fast forward to me giving birth. Remember the communication with B?
Yes.
And their situation? It never ended.
Oh, well. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it never ended. And while we are living together in this bigger house, I had found some texts between him and her that, of course, suggested these people are still together, actually. When I found out, I asked him about it. And, of course, he denied.
Obviously.
And, yeah. And then later he was like, these are very old. They were not old texts. They were very, very recent. But I didn't want to argue with him. So I was like, fine. And then he said, I'm saying this part because I feel like it's very significant. And then he told me, I know you like seeing elephants. So why don't we go to a park? Why don't I take you, because you found this text and I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to happen. Let me take you let me take you out, to a park. So because I know you love elephants, let's go.
What did you
Let's go
say?
see elephants.
What did you say the text said?
I didn't say what the text said.
Yeah. What did it say?
So the guy was asking B when she would squat for him.
Yo.
And B responded and said, I'd do anything for you. Just give me some time, normally. And then B said, I would do it, but recently when we are having sex, you look so tensed. Yeah. Yeah. So we went and saw elephants. He took me out basically. And now that story was swept under the rug. Now it became an issue now. But he told me that was the last of it. Like there would be nothing of that sort again. So fast forward to me giving birth in 2021. And immediately I gave birth, we stopped sleeping in the same bed or like in the same room. So the baby and I would sleep in one room and he would sleep in the other. Yeah. So this time he'd woken me up and told me to make breakfast. And I woke up and I did that. He was still in bed. The baby was still sleeping. He was still now at his room. He was in his room. So I made the breakfast. I put it on the table and yeah, that was that. So how I would be finding all these messages, his phone was connected to his MacBook and he had the WhatsApp web was in his laptop. Yeah. So every time he would leave for work, I would go onto his MacBook and go to his WhatsApp. So when I went there that morning, I found that he had taken a selfie of himself in bed and sent it to B, telling her good morning. Yeah, like good morning, my baby or something. Yeah. So now that I didn't confront him, I was just like, you know what? I'm tired. I actually didn't confront him. I just kept quiet. But the energy shifted. Now I wasn't talking to him in the house. I was quiet the entire time. I was minding my business. He would come. Okay, normally he would come very late when me and the baby are asleep in the other room. So he would just open the door, check in on us, and then go back to his room. So that was the norm for a really, really long time. Until September 2022. Yeah. So remember, all this time we're not staying together. They're still together with this other person. And every single Sunday he would take us out. Us, or I would say me, because the baby is still young, they understand nothing.
Yeah, but you're still a unit, so yeah, it's okay to say us.
Yeah. So he would take us out every single Sunday. And I came to realize he would do this so that he would feel less guilty of what he had been doing throughout the week. Yeah, because there's this time I found shoes in the car. I found a lot of wet wipes on the driver's side. And when I asked him about it, he gave me the silliest reason. And in my head, I just knew this person had been given head in the car, and that's what they were using to wipe, because there were a lot of wet wipes.
Did you know this because this is something you did before with him?
And I knew you'd ask me that. No.
Because you're saying it with such conviction. You know?
It is, because that is the only. Okay, what else would you be using wet wipes for? That many wet wipes.
That whenever I'm driving, I get really hot. Sometimes I use wet wipes to cool down and wipe my face of
Oh,
sweat. And I
it's
and
not that hot where we live.
okay.
If anything, it was cold. It was during the cold season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the excuse he gave me was that, cat, that drug.
No. What's that?
Yeah. So cat is a drug with leaves that you chew on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was telling me that, and it's something he had never done before. So he said that, when I'm chewing cat, I have to, wipe my hands regularly when I'm chewing it. And it didn't make sense. That's why I knew, no. And the wipes were actually clean. Like you wouldn't see any dirt on them. They were still white, but definitely they've been used to wipe something.
Mm-mm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that is the excuse that he gave me.
Okay.
And I found that out on a Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So every Sunday that he would take us out, I felt like it was a way of him feeling good about himself, like not feeling too guilty about what he had done. Yeah. So fast forward to 2022 September, something happened. He came home as usual, very late, and then he woke me up. He woke me up and told me to go to his room. Like, he was holding my hand. Now he was directing me to his room. And I asked him, what am I going to do there?
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, we have not been having sex. Where do you assume I'm getting sex? And I asked him, why now? We have not been having sex for a really long time. So why now? And he told me, so do you think I'm going to buy? Do you want to sell it to me? And I think I should also say this guy used to talk in a very
crude
loud
way.
voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very rude actually. So when he's telling me these things, he's talking to me in a condescending tone. Yeah, he was very harsh. So that scared me a bit because also he was holding my wrist so tightly. So I said, so I didn't say, I didn't like talking back to him because you remember what happened in 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't like talking back to him because maybe he would do what he did and then he'd use it as an excuse. So when he was telling me those things, I just kept quiet and I looked down and I just kept quiet. So he understood that I really didn't want to have sex with him that night. And he let me go. And I went back to my room now with the baby. And then in that week, because I had also had enough, all these occurrences of him cheating or being with, I don't know if I should call it cheating, and being with this other person, I had had enough at that point. So I decided to leave. So I packed everything. And I remember he had mentioned that his mom was going to hospital now in the city now. And I had packed everything for me and the baby. That is our clothes and necessities. No household items. Just my clothes and the baby's clothes and what we would need while we are there. And I asked him, I'm leaving tomorrow. I didn't tell him, like I didn't give him a heads up. He had told me on such and such a date he's going to take his mom to hospital in the city. So I told him, I have decided to leave. So if you'd be kind enough to drop me at a particular point in the city, and then I'll find my way because I was going to stay with my sister. I'll find my way. And no, now that was like at night, and we are leaving like tomorrow. And then now he sat me down and started asking me why are you leaving me? What have I done? And I kept quiet all this time. I just told him, you know what has been going on, and I feel like I've had enough, and I'm leaving. So yeah, he was like, okay, I won't hold you back, but and he said, I wish you all the best. I was like, okay, thank you.
He wasn't even trying to persuade you to stay.
No, no, he just told me, I wish you all the best. And I left. And he actually carried the things downstairs, put them in the car, and then we left. We picked his mom along the way, and then now we left for the city. So now that was October of 2022. So December of 2022, I got a job, and we were living nicely, I would say. I was a bit stable, and life was great for me. So we were talking. We used to talk. He used to video call the child. He used to send some upkeep money for the child, but then I would send receipts. He used to ask for receipts of what has been bought with that money, or you take pictures of whatever you've bought and you send it to him. So now, after I think 3 to 4 months, I started missing him. Yeah. I started missing him, but I was not doing anything about it. So this particular incident now made me reach out to him in terms of us to talk about our relationship.
Okay.
So I was at the store with my daughter, and then so my daughter really loved her dad, yeah. So when we are at the store, so any man that she saw that looked like her dad, she was calling daddy. Yeah. And that really broke me. It really did make me sad. So I remember after we are from the store, I texted him and I asked him, would you want your family back? Yeah. And he said no. And he said no. I'm fine where I am. I'm happy just having my daughter. And I said, okay, that's fine. I didn't push it really. I was like, okay, that's fine. And then a few weeks later, now he started talking to me about what I had asked him now. Yeah. He was like, every family has their own issues, and I don't think you should have left. You should have just let us talk about it before you leaving. And I was like, no, I had to leave because I was not finding work where in that small town, in that it was actually more rural. So I explained to him, aside from our situation, I really needed work. And that's why I also left. And I found work right now, and I feel like I'm stable. And I actually don't mind us being together, even if it's long distance. So I told him that, and he was like, "Oh yeah, me too." So he started coming out to the city. So he would even before me bringing that up, he would come. He would come to see my daughter, but him and I would never meet on a personal level and talk. It was always about the kid when he would come. So this time when he came, it started becoming about me. He would see my daughter, yes, but he would want to see me more. He would want us to hang out more and maybe talk more.
Mm-hmm.
So we started talking more. We started hanging out more when he would come. And then he asked me to move because where we were staying, there weren't a lot of kids. It wasn't family friendly. It wasn't a family friendly apartment.
Yeah.
I was living with my sister. So I talked to my sister and I told her, I want to move out because Master has a concern
mm-hmm.
of there being no kids
mm-hmm.
in our apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say my sister understood, and because I had bought a few of my household items, Master said he would bring more items from like our previous house, like where I was staying previously, and we would move into another apartment that's family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that happened. We moved to another apartment, and I stopped living with my sister.
So you that the guy has clearly said no, he doesn't want you.
Yeah.
He wants the daughter, but then you now move together.
Yeah, because remember I said a few weeks later now, a few weeks later after he had said no, and I didn't push it, after he said no, I was like, okay. So a few weeks later, he started calling me and talking to me about what I had asked him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he said, every family has their own issues and we should like solve our own issues too.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I just find it interesting that this guy now feels like he wants to do the whole family thing. I mean, he is right. People do have challenges and you can try and work through challenges. And maybe this is the turning leaf. Because for a lot of people, some of these changes come when a baby actually comes into the picture. So I'd like to give him some credit and a little bit of hope, that he's going to start doing the right thing. But before we delve into that, looking at where our time is, I think this is perfect for us to stop it here and continue the rest in part 2.
Sure.
And so if you've listened to this episode, hate to do this, feelers, but yeah, I don't want to rush this story. It's got so much depth to it. I think we will benefit from part 2. So catch you all in the next part 2.
Tell me what you're feeling.
Satis on Daro Raini and Chagezai.
Tell me what you're feeling. Now that it's over.
Satis on Daro Raini and Chagezai.
Let me talk about my feelings. Let me talk about my feelings, yeah.
Urudoi motor noto kujiziro amai.
Kujiziro amai. Love is a fire.
Urudoi motor noto kujiziro amai.